Look, obviously we are talking preseason business right now. So if you want to take this video with a pinch of salt, you can. You can if you want. But, we have seen what's going on in preseason. We have seen what's been going on over at West London. We have seen what's going on at the Blues. We have seen what's going on at Kings Road Boys with Joao Pedro at the football club at the moment. And we saw Chelsea in the Club World Cup go and win that competition with Joao Pedro in the team. And we have seen him continue this form going into the Premier League season. Look, first game of the season, I'm happy to say, is this weekend. Football is back. Premier League is back. You know what I mean? Tell the girlfriends, tell the wives, tell whoever. You know what I mean? Tell your husband, tell your boyfriend. It's football season. You know what that means? Don't shout us for the next 6-7 months. We're inside. We're watching the game. We're watching ball. We're breaking things down. That's what's going to be happening. And Joao Pedro has been absolutely excellent so far in his start at Chelsea. And look, it's a different era to the one that I grew up as a kid in, because we never paid attention to preseason. I can't tell you how many preseason goals Rooney has. I can't tell you how many preseason goals Ronaldo has. How many preseason goals Berbatov, anyone that signed for Man United at any point, had, right? I can't tell you that. But Joao Pedro does have 5 goals in 5 games. And the reason why this one feels significant is because of Chelsea's number 9 situation is probably one of the most spoken about positions that it's like one of the most spoken about positions, should I say, in football, or in at least in England, in terms. And the reason why I'm trying to say is Chelsea, for such a big club, for such a fantastic club, right, have never really had a proper 9 in this Abramovich era, in this Todd Bowley era, except from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who was before the Abramovich era, Didier Drogba, of course, the great one, for me, the best lone 9 I've seen in the Premier League, and Diego Costa, right? And Diego Costa. Those are 3 strikers in over 20 years who you can probably say, and I'm sure Chelsea fans can agree, will probably say was good enough to be a Chelsea player, was good enough to win trophies at Chelsea. It's just those 3. In that time, Chelsea have had Kesman, they had Mattia Kesman, they've had Shevchenko, they've had Pizarro, they've had Morata, they've had Lukaku, they've had Fernando Torres, Higuain, Falcao, Aubameyang, Jackson. The list goes on and on and on. And they have finally, maybe can we say, Chelsea have finally found their number 9 that could get to that level of Jimmy, of Drogba, of Diego Costa. Can they finally say that they've got a striker that can do that? Because Joao Pedro's start has been brilliant. And it's not only his start. For me, it's like they signed a Jackson with the finishing product. A Jackson, but that it actually has that end product. And I like Jackson. Anyone can go through my content. I've always defended Jackson. You know what I mean? Yes, his misses and stuff are very frustrating, but I do think Jackson overall as a football player is a good football player. He's tidy. He brings people into the game. He actually gives big centre-halves and elite centre-half problems. You know what I mean? You can go and check the tape. This is all facts. But Joao Pedro is adding the finishing touches to it. And he's showing a variety of goals. He scored some bangers, got a header the other day. And it's the hunger, the desire that he also brings. Joao Pedro plays with this kind of Brazilian fire. You know, everyone associates Brazilians with, oh, Maria. You associate them with the football and Brazil. Like, you think about the flair, you think about, all of that. But people don't talk about the passion that Brazilians play with. Chelsea have had Thiago Silva. Bro, this brother will cry after a 1-1 with Fulham. This guy's in the change room telling them, listen, I lost my father, I lost my parent. That is how Brazilians play. Joao Pedro, I saw him crying for winning I think he cried at the club. I don't even know. I saw him crying somewhere already. These guys play with a different type of fire. They play with this hunger. They have this passion in them. They'll cry after anything. Bad tackle, goal, oh my God. Anything, these guys are crying because they play with their heart on their sleeve. And I think Joao Pedro is going to bring that to Chelsea. Now, we saw he's got a red card. He got in trouble a few times at Brighton. But, again, that's that fire. Now, Chelsea have had Nico Jackson, who's been getting red cards. Maybe you could say some of them were in petulance. or you can associate to passion, whatever. But Chelsea obviously are not going to want Joao Pedro to be getting red cards. That's not ideal, even though they have got Liam Delap in the club now. But the thing is, right, when you look at what he can bring link up play. He can drift off to the 10. He can drift off to the left. He can drift off to the right. So he's not only going to be a player that can score goals, but he's going to be a player that is allowing others to get in their spaces as well. If Cole Palmer wants to get into the 9 position, or if anybody wants to get into the central areas, they can know that Joao Pedro is not necessarily always going to be holding up them zones. Even though I do think he should try and be more in and around them zones if he's going to want to score goals. Because why I say you always want to score the ugly goals. The goal that he scored the other day is not an ugly goal, but he's there in the 9 position, as a striker should be. So when he signed for the club, I said good signing. But I thought, where's he going to play? He's going to play in the 10? But now it looks like Chelsea are hanging their hat on putting him as the proper number 9. It's actually going to be very, 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 very good to see, you know? And when you're talking about players that could potentially go from one level to the other this season, I think Joao Pedro has to be in that top 5 conversation, where from the season before, okay, he was a good player. We know that he's a good player. People talk about he scored too many penalties and all that stuff. But the conversation we could potentially be having for him at the end of next season, and this season could be a completely different thing. It could be a completely different thing in a positive way. Now, if you look at it, people, right? Chelsea are usually associated, right, with big number 9s, right? Let me put Chelsea strikers over the years. So look, there's an article actually on, what is this called? Squawka, right? There's an article talking about Chelsea's number 9s over the years, right? And you think about Chelsea number 9s. Am I the only one that when I think about Chelsea number 9, I think about a big physical 9? Because you look at the 3 here. Now, Hasselbank's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's physical, he's strong. The size of his flipping thighs, the power behind his shot. You look at Didier Drogba, you look at Costa. In fact, you probably associate Liam Delap with more of a Chelsea 9 over the years than a Joao Pedro. It's a different profile. I always say I look at Joao Pedro like a taller Gabriel Jesus. The way sometimes you'll see them right back. Sometimes you'll see them left back. Now, maybe do they want to be in them positions to score more goals? Probably not. But you see them all over the pitch. They have this infectiousness about them. Like what Gabriel Jesus brought to Arsenal. Well, I'll get that up in a sec. Like what Gabriel Jesus brought to Arsenal in the 22-23 season. He had an infectiousness. He raised the level. Everybody started playing at his pace, at his tempo, at this hunger. I think Pedro is a player similar to like that, and I think he has a point to prove. I think people are talking about, Chelsea, you know, they've got 2 young 9s. Delap made the wrong decision. I think this is good for them. They're going to compete, both of them, and don't sleep. Delap, this guy's not wired normally either. Both are going to be hungry to be that number 9. Both are going to want it, and that can only be a good thing for Chelsea. You could play up to 60 games this season. Who knows? But let's go through Chelsea's number 9s over the years. Let's see. They had Chris Sutton. Before Fernando Torres and Shevchenko, there was Chris Sutton. One of the biggest striking mistakes in the transfer market. After killing that at Blackburn, Chelsea spent 10 million. Man said £10. 10 million. Chelsea spent 10 million, which is the third highest figure between English clubs. Their reward was 2 goals in 38 games. Both came in the first half of the 90. So basically, another complete flop. If you are more of a flop than Mattia Kezman, then that's absolutely scary. I thought he was going to be hands down number 1, because the hype that he came in with after doing bits at PSV, honestly, people thought they were probably getting like a new Van Nistelrooy type vibe, and he came in and absolutely stunk it up. So you look at Chelsea's number 9, they just have so many flops. Let's look at it. Kezman, Pizarro, Di Santo, bit harsh on him, like he's a young lad. Falcao, I think Falcao should have been... he should have probably been the worst, man. He should have probably been the worst. Mutu. Okay, Mutu, by the way, started well. I remember they used to think, Mutu. He started well. He's got a banging free kick as well. But, obviously, cocaine and all them things there. Carlton. Hey, yo, go easy on my boy Carlton, man. Come on, man. It wasn't even a signing. Go easy on my boy Carlton, man. Go easy on my boy Carlton. Mikel Fossell, George Weah, Loic Remy, Toriandre Flo. I like Toriandre Flo. I'm surprised that he's in here, to be fair. Yeah. I like Toriandre Flo. Anyway, Sturridge, Shevchenko, Lukaku, Batshuayi, Morata, Demba Ba, Samuel Eto'o, Timo Werner. The fact that Timo Werner's 11th. 11th. Tammy Abraham, Giroud, Torres. Torres being in your top 10, basically most successful strikers. It's mad considering he only scored 20 Premier League goals in 110 Premier League games. Torres. Fernando Torres. It just shows, man. Kalu, what a player he was. What a signing. What a super sub. I think he scored over 60 goals for Chelsea. 36 league goals. He scored 66 goals, I think, for Chelsea. So, Kalu, raging success for me. Raging success. Crespo. Again, he didn't even spend too long at the club. Didn't spend too long, but 20 goals in 49. That's nearly 1 in 2. That's not too bad. Johnson, love him. Sorry, guys. How can I forget Nicolas Anelka in amongst all of this? Anelka was a good signing. 1 golden boot. Contributed. I forgot about him. Sorry. I wish I could start this video again. Nicolas Anelka was a good signing for Chelsea. Won a golden boot. Won a Premier League. Got about his business. Not spoken about enough. Very, very underrated. Very, very, very underrated. It didn't start well, but, yo, it ended well, in my opinion. So you got Nicolas Anelka. I think from here... Number 5, Johnson. I don't really call him a striker. I call him kind of like a second striker. He was kind of in that SS mode of that era. There used to be a lot of SSs, you know what I mean? Like people that are just behind the striker. You kind of don't call him a striker. You don't call him a 10. They're just kind of like a, SS, exactly, second striker. So this top 5 is good. Johnson, Anelka, Jimmy Floyd, Diego Costa, and Didier Drogba. You know what I mean? That's good. But you consider how many strikers Chelsea have had over the years. Some of these names, Crespo being in your top 6, he was okay. He was good. He was good. And I really like Crespo. By the way, this kit, for me, Umbro Gold one, I think that's a top 5 kit in Premier League history. I'm just saying. I think that's a top 5 kit in the Premier League history. But anyway, then you got Kalu, brilliant. Again, Kalu played off the left, played off the right, played up front. So he's kind of not really a proper 9. So really and truly, if you take away all that, it'll be Crespo in the top 5. And then it'll be Torres and Giroud. And that's what I mean. So Joao Pedro, really and truly, it's not too much of an ask, is it? For Joao Pedro to get himself basically in the top 5 Chelsea strikers since 2000. Big ask? I don't think so. Guys, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. They didn't even include Aubameyang in that. But like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. It's your boy CultureCams. Let me know what you think Joao Pedro is going to offer. Because right now, he started on fire. He's looking a problem. And if he continues doing what he's doing... Listen, I've got to do some predictions soon on Sky. I got to do some predictions. I don't really like prediction content, but I got to do some. And hey, not going to lie. Chelsea, if he's firing... Don't sleep on Chelsea this season. It's your boy, CultureCams. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Little late upload, but it is what it is. I'm out. Peace.